Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morse, the review guy reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video, and in this one I'm going to be covering the new Imperial Triumphant record entitled Alphaville. Imperial Triumphant is a metal band hailing from New York, USA. They've been at this whole music biz for a hot minute, but it wasn't until the mid to late part of the last decade that they started making some massive waves in the musical underground. An eclectic avant-garde take on metal has really seen them being able to break a lot of walls and blend a lot of genres that you don't necessarily hear combined to this degree, and sees them bringing in things from all across the music spectrum. The biggest component of this oddity would be how they include jazz instrumentation into an already very odd, heavy, blackened death metal sound. So 2 years back at this point, they dropped one of the most critically acclaimed underground metal records of that year, Vile Luxury. An unstoppable force in the realm of causing a ruckus, but also knowing how to tone it down and ride it like a damn wave. But longtime fans of this band would understand that their past releases were very solid in their own right. That record being their breakout album is perfectly understandable, but it should in no way be an artistic statement that sells their previous installments of their discography short. So naturally, when I heard that this record was coming, I was very excited for it. I was hoping that they could build on the trajectory that Vile Luxury set for themselves, and I will say with confidence that this record is another display in eclectic avant-garde playing that combines so many styles and will most definitely be one of the weirdest things that you hear this entire year. This weird 9-track, 59-minute, long-winded, epic, theatrical, just, it's a great record. All of the bone-chilling tension that Vile Luxury and their previous records were able to build is here straight away from the first track. It swells and it swells and it swells. It feels like a boil that desperately needs to be lanced. I would say the vocals have literally been taken a step up, if that was even possible. One of my major issues and critiques of Vile Luxury was the fact that I felt the vocals blurred into the background too much, and the cacophony of the instrumentation, how chaotic and hectic and frantic it always felt. The vocals had a habit of just kind of sliding and staying in the backdrop and being very inaudible generally in the mix. Here they are punchy, they are throaty, they are shrill in all of the best ways possible, but they are still balanced and equalized very well with the rest of the instrumentation that is just roaring in these tracks. I would say the jazz bits are toned down in the sense that they are still very much omnipresent across this record, but not nearly as blunt and in your face as they were on Vile Luxury. On Vile Luxury, when you hit some of those jazzy sections, it literally sounded like a jazz record played with a little bit of metallic instrumentation. Here, they seem a lot more well-balanced, I would say. They don't seem as intrusive, but they add that nice little of unique flavor that just makes you say like, wow, I've not really heard that much like this. Symphonics and jazz elements have been incorporated in metal for quite a while, specifically in the black metal side of the spectrum, but Imperial Triumphant has such a way of doing it with finesse and prowess to make it seem technically efficient, but not so jarring and off-putting that you can't enjoy it as a standalone record and have to pick it apart like the damn Fibonacci sequence. This isn't Tool, but it is still very technically proficient. And while we're making the Vile Luxury comparisons, I think this record's sound is a step up from their past record as well. I still do prefer their initial releases to Vile Luxury in this one in terms of production quality. I think that they sell themselves short on numerous occasions, both on this record and on Vile Luxury, where sometimes the equalization will make a certain key moment that should play a large factor in setting a track apart. It will just end up not being audible enough to have the same amount of punch that it necessarily should. That's more of a nitpick thing and me wanting to just hear everything that's going on, but you don't necessarily always need to. The performances are still very tight on this record. But I will say I prefer this to Vile Luxury for practically every reason that I enjoyed Vile Luxury just being taken to another degree. Some of the tracks on this record are some of the most harrowing and disturbing tracks I've heard this entire year. One that comes to mind is Atomic Age, one of my favorite tracks coming out of whatever the hell you can call this genre, period. Some of the bangs and clangs and the way that they handle the audio production on this track, specifically in the mid to late 3-minute mark, just sets my heart ablaze in the best way. It makes me have palpitations. There is so much going on, so much chaos. It seems like someone snapping and going unhinged. It feels like a manic episode. It feels like damn psychosis. It seems like an insomniac that hasn't slept in 4 days. If I've heard anything this year that seems like the musical equivalent of snapping, it's this record. So while a lot of the ideas can occasionally pan out in a way that feels long-winded and bloated, and I would say I feel like this track listing can at times seem a bit long. For this type of style, it's a lot like Ulcerate's newest record. When you have a record that is quite long, it can at times be difficult to digest, to process, even on numerous listens, and I would like to see Imperial Triumphant maybe trim the fat a little bit, cut it down a little bit. At times it feels like a little bit too much. I think for the sake of their own sound and to make sure that everything just hits in a solid fashion that leaves a memorable impression on you, I would like to see them just tone it down at times, let it simmer a little bit, maybe make the track listing a little bit shorter, and in the future I genuinely think they could have a solid 9 or a 10 in them. Otherwise though, I'm going to be giving this record a 7.5 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Imperial Triumphant record, Alphaville? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss this record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morse, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.